Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunrise. It's so good to see you guys once again. Thank you for coming back here over with us at Sunrise Christian Fellowship. I am Pastor Keith, and I'm so glad that you decided to join us for our 5-minute Bible study. While I have you, I want you to go over to our website, SunriseChristianLV.org. Go ahead and check out our website. We are an exclusively online church, and so we want you guys to connect with us and be able to join in with everything that we have going on here at the Sunrise on our website. Again, that's SunriseChristianLV.org. Check out our other Bible study that we have with Pastor Naida Parson. It is great. I'm telling you, she talks all about from religion to relationship, and I tell you, it is going to bless you tremendously for all of those that are trying to develop a real relationship with God. Make sure that you connect with us. Check us out over there on our website. But we're going to get into what we have for you on this week. We're going to be entering into a new series, and we're going to be talking about Joseph. And so we're going to go ahead and get right on into it because we got 5 minutes. So we're going to put 5 minutes on the clock right down here. God is ready for us, and so are we. And so we want to talk this week and the next coming weeks about Joseph. Joseph is who we're going to be speaking about. But I want to ask some questions before we jump right into it. And I want to talk to some people specifically. Have you ever felt like you lost when you were supposed to win? Have you ever gone through that where you felt like you lost when you were supposed to win? Have you ever been right about something and everyone else was going against you and everyone else was telling you that you were wrong? Has that ever happened to you before? Have you ever seen the truth, but you were the only one that actually was able to see it where others were in error? Have you ever the only one that was willing to do what was right? Even though all these other people knew what they were involved in or what was going on was wrong, but you were the only one that had the will to do what was right or what was correct. Come on, let's talk about it, and we're going to talk about it with Joseph. So we're going to be entering into this series that I like to entitle When Winning Feels Like Losing. When winning feels like losing. Joseph had this nuance of this situation happening several times in his life and what God was taking him towards. He was going towards his winning place and where he was going to win, but the entire time he kept running into things that made it feel like he was losing almost the entire way. And so let's start off in the beginning. Joseph in the very beginning, we're going to go to Genesis chapter 37. We're going to read verses 5 through 10, and we're going to talk about his first instance of when Joseph runs into this situation when winning feels like losing. And so in verse number 5, it says, Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said it to them, listen to this dream I had, where we were binding sheaves of grain out of the field, and suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it. His brother said to him, do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us? And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. They hated him because of his dream. It says then he had another dream and he told it to his brothers. Listen, he said, I had another dream, and this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing to me. When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, what is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come to bow down before you? See, Joseph had something that God had given to him that was correct, that was right. And when he shared it with those that was most intimate with him, the ones that were supposed to ride with him, the ones that were supposed to believe in his dream and were supposed to support him, they despised him for it. All for just saying what was right. All for just repeating what God had for him and what God had told him to say unto other people. They hated him for him. And so in this part of the winning with losing, this is what we talk about when you said what was right and yet you lost. You said exactly what you were supposed to say. You said what was correct, and yet somehow you took a loss for doing so. How does that even work, God? I just repeated what you said. I stayed in your will. I did exactly what you wanted me to. You told me to go speak to these people. You gave this message to me. All I did was express the good news that God had given to me. and yet I'm being despised and I'm being hated for it. Joseph was his father's favorite, and even with that, his father even rebuked him about what God had told him to say. What do you do when you said what was right, and yet it feels like it cost you? And it put you at a deficit, and it placed you in a place where you feel like, I lost because I said what was right. Well, you keep on saying it. That's what you do. You keep saying it, even if it costs you favor, even if it costs you position, and even if it costs you being lifted up and being liked by other people. You're going to continue to do this thing. As we walk through Joseph through these series, Joseph is a story of one that is all about believing God despite what is happening. So those of you that are sitting in this situation or have sat in this situation, I want you to understand you're going to have to believe God despite what it looks like. Your eyes are going to fool you. The surroundings are going to fool you. Other people are going to fool you. So this week, what I want you to work on, I want you to work on repeating what God has said to you, despite what it looks like. Say it to yourself, say it to others, say it over your situation, despite how it's being received. If God has given it to you, I want you to keep saying it. And if he hasn't given you anything, find an encouraging scripture to speak over your life again and again and again. And I want you to see how it's going to bless you this entire week. Come back and check with us. We got a lot more coming for you with Joseph in this series, When Winning Feels Like Losing. We'll see you soon.